Hey guys, how you doing? I want to share my honest thoughts on season 25 in Sparrow, and I also wanted to do a little bit of like a hello. It's good to see you guys again. Obviously, if you've been watching Apex Legends at the highest level, you've seen me very recently. We just finished a broadcast in New Orleans for the ALGS Open. That was literally 160 teams, the biggest event we've ever done. And to me, it was a great showcase of new talent and new beginnings for pros and people who want to be pros in Apex, which leads me to season 25. And to all of you who are probably like me wondering, is this the time to get back in Apex? Or where does Apex fit in my gaming now? Because like all of us who came from the very beginning, or if you were here for a few years, backed out and came back in, Apex is a game that kind of goes through ebbs and flows of taking your attention, holding it hostage, and then releasing it because there's a new game, or maybe, the level is just too high at that point and you're not going to become a pro. At the end of the day, that's kind of where we get to in Apex. I'm either going to become a pro or I'm going to just slow down and maybe play something more casual because it's that intense. This game is so good. That's why our esport is, in my opinion, one of the best in the world. But it does mean that as a viewer on Rain Day Gaming, as someone who came in for some tips, wants to get better, it can be difficult to be a great player or consider yourself good enough to kind of even vie for greatness, to attempt at greatness in the landscape of how good players are now. And not just at shooting, but in moving, but of understanding the new maps and the new characters and all of the perks. There's just a lot to unpack. So to me, this is a video that kind of wants to lay out the state of Apex in a way that you guys will understand and in a way that you'll appreciate too. Because for me, I've done these videos. I'm usually not talking while showing footage, but I wanted to do this state of Apex Legends to talk about what I think is right with the game, what I think might be wrong with the game, and how close they are to fixing it. And then also what I think you will enjoy as a viewer on Rain Day Gaming. This is for my YouTube viewers, my Twitch viewers. This is for you guys. So let's talk about it. Season 25. First off, Sparrow. Sparrow is phenomenal. Sparrow is a really phenomenal character. I think it's actually one of the best character designs that we've seen in Apex in a very long time. This is actually the kind of character design that for me, I feel like if we had every single time would bring a lot of people back into Apex. It's the same level of movement and flashiness that gave Ash when she got her extra dash ability, this resurgence of life. And Sparrow brings that naturally. He also has two of my favorite things in a character. And I can't describe this, but guys, let me know if you understand what I'm saying. A tactical that is deployable and impactful that hurts an enemy team or helps your team. So essentially, uh, you kind of throw it like a fused knuckle cluster, a Bangalore smoke, right? I'm not talking really about a rampart wall or like a Newcastle shield or something a little bit more defensive. Not really even thinking about a Gibraltar shield. I'm not thinking about these kind of stationary things. I'm thinking about tacticals that you use like a Maggie riot drill that kind of are aggressive and make people play around your ability usage. For me, that helps a lot of players who don't maybe have the best aim or want to have a lot of skill, want to control a fight, control it well. The right smoke, the right Sparrow Q, the right Maggie drill really does force a player on the enemy team to move or play around you. I love characters with that. It feels like you can impact the game in many different ways. And I think it's tactical, giving you vision for teammates and obviously on enemy teammates, on enemies, and giving that to yourself. You can combine that with the perk that gives you movement speed on someone that you've highlighted, or you can have an extra one with the other perk. I think these are all really powerful options for Sparrow, and that's really fun. The other thing about it is his ultimate is great. His ultimate is so good. It has a couple problems, but I want to talk about the good part first, guys. Let's not get into problems and solutions yet. I think it's the fact that he has 400 damage that it can take before it's dead. Means you can kind of use it to body block, almost as if you use a caustic gas barrel to body block some damage. You can use that with the Sparrow ultimate, hiding behind it and crouching behind it. It also does a tremendous amount of damage. I know that it ticks for 20 health and shield, whichever you have going on. If you have more shield or if you have health, whatever it is, it's going to take 20 of that. It's going to slow. It's going to turn you into a very easy target. And it does it in such a huge AoE with line of sight all over the place that it just, you can't play into it. If you play into that and take a fight, you're dead. That's just what's gonna happen. You're gonna die. So for me, this is the type of ultimate too that makes it exciting. Yet the issue is it too good right now? I would say that a lot of players are already showing that there's some abuse that can be used to, hide behind it or do damage. Some of the perks are also pretty amazing. And also, I don't know, is it underwhelming? I don't know the right word for it. But you have two different options. You could take a smaller approach and have more frequent ultimates, but they don't have nearly the same impact. They don't tick for as long. So there's not as much overall damage being done, and they don't hit as wide of a radius. So they're a lot easier to avoid. Or obviously, you can keep the same big one that it is, and you can actually gain health and shields back based on the damage that you do in your ultimate. So this is the ultimate turn the fight. You and your teammates are fighting, yet you throw this ult down. You maybe lost a little bit of health. You're at that 40%. That enemy's still at that 60%. And now you take damage, and that slowly turns it back towards your favor. And now you're at 80, you're at 100, they're getting down to 20. Now the fight's pretty much over. You could finish that blindfolded. So that is the cool part about this character. There's a lot of options, a lot of playstyle choices, and it also is just a ton of fun. He has his own interaction with the bow check bow, where you could put a grenade on his bow. And obviously, shoot that thing and have it explode. He's the kind of character that is just so fun to interact with the world in, and with his double jump, his climb jump. There's just a lot of things that I think Sparrow is going to bring to the table. So he's a great design, great character, tons of fun. If Apex keeps releasing characters like this, it's going to make a lot of people jump in, especially people who love shooters, who love being aggressive and having fun. Now, here's again where I think they did it well, but could be a downside. Sparrow's probably going to be pretty strong for a bit, but I'd rather have a character come in strong than be weak out the gate, and then obviously have an issue later on where you're having a buff and you don't know where his strong points are. I also hope they don't pull the trigger too fast on a nerf. I think letting this character exist for a good little while is going to be helpful, not just to cover and gather data, but for us to really get a sense of a cool new experience. By the time you see this video, you don't want a nerf in the works already, so that you get a patch notes and you don't even get to play the original character. It's only been like 5 days. So let's slow down on that. The other thing about this season is bringing together kind of some new ranked changes, but also, again, putting in work on characters for time to kill and their abilities so that they can become balanced, reducing some of the skirmisher kind of changes that allowed skirmishers to get a knock and then keep going if use their tactical again if they got a knock, and keep resetting that if they keep getting knocks. And instead kind of making that special for Pathfinder, turning guns that maybe were not highlighted this last season, like the Hemlock, and giving them extra base mags bullets and making them more effective. This patch brings a lot of stuff that I think overall gives a lot of players who have played the game before some excitement, like the devotion coming back in and now having the accelerated hop up. So if you fully gear that thing up with purple loot, you're going to see essentially not only more ult charge from that weapon as you use it, but you're going to see more effectiveness with the weapon when it's fully kitted. So you're going to be on that kind of golden goose chase to find all of the right attachments, and then it's going to act as if it has a turbocharger on it. You can't actually pick up the turbocharger. It's just got to be you fully kitting it. So that's also a really fun element that I think Apex has brought to the game. You do have to find this way to get back to, I care about loot, I care about looting, I care about going on the journey to find loot and getting this really cool weapon. That is what a battle royale at its essence is. Aside from the fighting, aside from that, it's the looting. It's the gathering enough equipment so that you become the raid boss. And now you have a total advantage over other people in the fight. In Apex, because of how this game has so many characters, so many abilities, and people have just gotten good at it, the advantage from having a purple bolt versus a blue bolt is often not realized. I mean, I don't think anyone associates a lot of that, especially if you're just jumping into the game, with it in the same way that you used to when loot was scarce, when getting a P2020 meant, okay, I got this, let's just fight, and hopefully I got P2020 in a dream. Now you got P2020 and a machine. I mean, basically you got P2020 and you're good, because that weapon is still insane even after the nerfs this season. So guys, I mean, talk to me about this in the comments too. Do you feel like there's something that we can do to get that nostalgic feeling of a BR back? Or are we so inundated with BRs now? Have we figured out BRs so much that there's just really no way? There's just really no way at this point to kind of have a battle royale where it feels like, ooh, loot matters. Loot really matters. Like, I mean, I think about it like this: the game. That brings me to my third point. So I like the patch notes. I think it's good for old, newer players. I think that also helps. Time to kill is being worked on. Bringing some characters down, adjusting some characters here. But I want to talk about arsenals, because arsenals are getting more adjusted too. And this is one of the biggest things that came into Apex that I didn't talk about. So it goes on the other point of our battle royales becoming too easy to loot, too easy to get your thing, and thus losing the essence of what a BR is, which is dropping down with nothing, finding your way through the wilderness, and fighting other people who also are finding their way through the wilderness. Apex introducing arsenals, which allows you to see the type of weapons that are available from your dropship. Drop down into an area that has those types of weapons. Let's, for example, use snipers. And by going straight towards that icon from flying down towards the arsenal at the ground, you can grab any of the sniper weapon category weapons, such as a wingman or a charge rifle, which was buffed this season and has this really crazy hop up that allows you to rapid fire the charge rifle. It's pretty nuts. I think it's a hop up. If it's not, there's some way to rapid fire the charge rifle, which is pretty amazing. If you haven't tried it, check it out. Now you can go ahead and grab those two things, have the ammo for them, upgrade one of them, and then start fighting. The reason for this was to jump in and get the weapons that you want and not have to face the randomness. But is it sometimes the randomness and then getting it that's really the reward? Is there a way that we're kind of now changing even the landscape of what a BR is as Apex grows and develops? And I think arsenals are the first of many things that have, or some of the first of many things that have come to make the game more consistent for players old and new, and yet in ways that are new to the battle royale genre, so that will we see an evolution of what a BR means to people in the next year or two? Will it be something where you're getting your weapon, you're getting your loadout, you're getting your shield, right? Where you're taking your fight, where you're like, everything. The chaos element is kind of barely and just mostly by choice if you want to engage in the chaos. And even then, the unpredictability of what you get is at a minimum in order to keep your experience relatively stable. Is that what we want? Are we excited about that? For me, my take on that as we kind of transition out of this point into the next one is I think Apex Legends is building something bigger and longer than what it has been. And in order to do that, you do have to play with the rules of what something is, because you can never get back your first Christmas that you remember. You can never get back the first time you saw your favorite movie of all time. You can never get it back. And you can never get back your first love. You can never get back these moments that are kind of ephemeral and locked in this feeling and nostalgia and experience that is there and you're comparing it to, but will never, ever measure up. And what happens when you try to measure it up? Well, you don't get 30 Christmas gifts and you only get 29 like Dudley, like the Dursleys give to Dudley and Harry Potter. 36. I thought last year I had 37. Yes, well, a lot of them are a lot bigger this year, Dudley. No, but I want 37. Yeah, okay, we'll go out and get you 2 more gifts. So this time you'll have 38. I mean, if you compare it, it's not going to work. If you talk about your first love and you think about all that, and then you compare it to somebody you're dating and meeting for the first time, well, so the person that met you on Hinge is supposed to compare to the greatest love of your life the first moment you meet them. I mean, is that that's a high standard? Okay, that's unrealistic for anybody. Not even Obama is going to come up there and smooth talk you enough to be like, yeah, this is better than the first person I ever loved. I mean, you might be like, he's good, close second. He is Obama, but it's not exactly the same. So the other thing is when we compare what a BR used to be, our experience landing, those first days of just, what are these weapons? What does it feel like? Oh my God, everyone's fighting for this. I'm barely making it out. I gotta win. Is that possible to replicate? And it leads me to my fourth point and a question that I think we need to ask as we look at the future of Apex Legends and where it's going is, what does a win, what does an experience in a battle royale look like over the long term? And how can Apex continually help us enjoy it? To me, the biggest thing Apex is going for is enjoying fighting and enjoying the experience of the game. We all know that Apex, what makes Apex special is the way that it runs, the way that it feels, the way that you shoot, the way that you play it. You play that game, you play Apex, and you go, there's no other game that feels as good. Shooting, moving, all that, it just feels like something special. Yet, is that enough? All these games coming out with new mechanics. I myself, I mean, I played Marvel Rivals a lot, but I come from hero shooters, so I enjoyed a new high-level hero shooter that was an Overwatch that was out at the same time when, as you guys know on this channel, I covered Paladins. It was nice to experience that. But in terms of that BR shake, that interest that you want to go back in and fight and don't not know what's going to happen, is that what's going to bring me back into a game? And I think as I get older, and we're still young, we're all really young at this day and age. I think, you know, there's grandma content creators right now and grandpa content creators that I love, by the way. You got to check them out. They're amazing. And the truth is they're still enjoying games. So we're going to be enjoying games well into our 80s, 90s, like, you know, hundreds if we're all living like that guy who they did a documentary on in Apex, who's trying to become younger than his son or something. But at the end of the day, what do we really want to do? And do I want to jump in? And you got to ask yourself this question. Do we want a game that's going to give us that unpredictability? Are we looking for a new game in Apex because it's going to be hard to replicate a new game and new experience? Or are we looking to refine the experience that is the core of what Apex is, which is the movement, the shooting, the feeling that you get when you're playing a character, the competitive nature of these final circles and zones that feel so good and so satisfying to win? Are we trying to go back and say, let's compete with the old Apex where everything was new and fresh? Or are we not worried about new and fresh anymore? We're worried about refining and making that experience even more enjoyable. And I think Apex long-term has to start shifting gears towards that. Obviously, there have been a lot of conversations around, you know, the battle passes and the events that are out for getting skins. It seems to me that Apex has really pushed a narrative to try to focus game first right now and really find itself. And over the last few months, it's actually hit some peaks that it hasn't seen in years. Apex steadily in the top 10, if not top 7 of all time played games in the world right now, as far as Steam concurrent users. And that's a big deal because it's really hard to uproot at least 3 or 4 of those. So if Apex is in that real top 3, 4 spots that constantly interchange all the time, that's an amazing sign that it has something there. And it means that if we are really intended to look at what Apex can do now to stay alive, that we've got 3, 4, 5 more years easily, in my opinion. And hey, maybe even longer. If you look at TF2, that game's been on what, 15 years, maybe more than that. Counter-Strike 20 years. If you look at the potential Apex has, the movement and the experience is just as unique as those games are. And you've seen games like Valorant try to take the Counter-Strike method. You've seen games like Marvel Rivals try to take the Overwatch or Paladins method. And these things work, but the originals are still there. They're still existing. They're still having moments and updates. I feel like Apex could be that game. And whether it's somebody makes Apex 2 like Respawn, maybe somebody makes an iteration of this and tries to compete really, which all these hero shooters that have tried to compete with Apex have not beaten Apex. There has become no hero shooter battle royale that is sustained and built even close, not only to the hype at originally, but the amount of players, the sustain, the money earned, the ability to stay open and not close their doors or not close the project at all. I mean, Concord dropped. I thought that was a fun game. It was a hero shooter. It wasn't a BR, but my goodness, that thing, I mean, they ended the studio over. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy. So this is a cutthroat world in gaming. Everyone knows that you got one chance to get it right. Apex got it right. So for those wondering, is this a game to invest in? What's the state of it? Should I jump in? Should I play? Let me ask you this. You get handed $1 billion, and that $1 billion is the first time you ever got handed $1 billion in your life. You've actually, it's the second time. But in between those 20 years, you've had $1 billion handed to you. You've had thousands. You've had a couple hundred. You got big losses. But now you finally get that next billion. What do? Do you take care of that? Do you understand how precious it is? Well, when you talk about IPs, billion-dollar IPs, billion-dollar games, intellectual properties, do not just show up. I don't care if you're EA. I don't care if you're Activision. They don't just show up, guys. There's a reason we're on Diablo 4 and World of Warcraft Infinity and beyond, okay? They're not making another one, because you don't get handed these special opportunities. So what you do is you take care of them. It's like you get handed, going back to it, the love of your life. You get handed an opportunity to do something special and experience it. What do? Do you treat it like there's all these other things out there? No, you treat it like this is a very special thing and that you want to take care of it. That is what I think Apex is got in terms of Respawn, in terms of EA's backing. And so for me, yes, I'm the Apex isn't dying kind of guy, and I've been right this entire time. Apex is still flourishing, but it is changing. And so what you guys might be right about is the Apex that we knew and loved, it is maybe dying or on the way out. But the Apex that we will be seeing in the future is one that can last, that has legs, that can work for many different people at many different times, whether it's a long play session for a ranked predator or a couple of games with friends for some summertime hangouts with the buddies on the couch or on your PCs later at night. This is the type of game that I think is going to help become more mainstream, and it's, in the very least, give the people who love it more of what they love. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think about the video. I'm happy to be back making videos as well. I know it's a big talking head kind of video, but I wanted to be connected with you guys. So let me know exactly what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed it, listened to it, and reacted to it as well. As always, my friends, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I will see you all